Hey y'all, it's Brawl, and I'm here with 10 things worth knowing about Pokemon Unite. So yeah, the first thing that you're going to want to do that's worth knowing is to go into your settings and switch some things around here. Everything within the system settings themselves are actually really uniform, straightforward, easy to understand. Honestly, there's nothing here to even really tweak. The first change I recommend making is under the control section, specifically the opponent lock-on priority. It's by default on closest. You want to switch that over to lowest remaining HP, either for value or percent. That way you're killing the opponent most vulnerable, not the opponent that's closest to you. The next change I recommend making is under attack controls and switching them over to advanced controls. This is a really important thing to do. That way, instead of just attacking Pokemon, you can choose to attack wild Pokemon and steal some points away from the opponent. It just simply comes down to a case of better to have and not need than need and not have. Directly underneath this is the automatic basic attacks function. Make sure to turn this off so that you can time your attacks instead of them being timed for you. This is the difference between getting a kill and being killed. The next two items to look at are the lock-on icon and the boosted attack gauge. The lock-on icon is incredibly important during team fights, as you'll be able to concentrate specifically on a direct Pokemon, whether it be the supporter, whether it be the attacker, or you all decide to take out the defender first. This is crucial, especially if you're going to be trying to rank up. The boosted attack gauge I recommend leaving on. We will be covering that later on in the video. The next setting to tweak is going to be the in-motion pursuit mode. If by default it's on, we want to go ahead and turn this off. That way we're not going to be start approaching Pokemon even though our controller told them not to. Very frustrating, so again, turn this right off. Up next is a big one for me, scoring controls. Don't hold the button, press the button. You'll thank me later. These next two settings have excellent synergy, and you definitely want to make sure you have your camera following your moves, and you definitely want to make sure your move aim is going to follow your movement direction. This is going to make you a more lethal attacker. You've probably picked up on the pattern by now that the settings we're tweaking allow us more manual control over what we want to do on the battlefield. And obviously going in line with that, we're going to want to turn the move aim snaps to nearby targets off, because that again is going to cause situations where we're attacking opponents that we don't necessarily want to. Our final tweaks for the control section will be to the move learning controls. We want to go ahead and make that a single button press, and then finally aim assist settings, just turn the assist right off. Again, it'll make your life a lot easier. You'll have more control over the battlefield. I personally like to go in and change my move 2 to ZL and my move 1 to ZR and have my unite button at R. It's a better setup for me. Everyone's free to try their own thing and even stick with default, but again, maybe sometimes trying different controls can lead to better results. The second thing worth knowing about Pokemon Unite is how to update the fashion on your trainer card. You're simply going to go ahead and hit the L button. You're going to hit X to edit your profile, and then within that profile you're going to hit X one more time, and ta-da! Now everyone can see your latest fashion and style when they start up every match. The third thing worth knowing about Pokemon Unite is the battle records and the extra details hidden within them. To access your battle record, simply hit the L button from the main menu, scroll down twice, can't miss it. It's also worth noting you can hit the X button to filter between quick matches, standard matches, and ranked matches win rates. So yeah, once you find a battle you want to inspect, simply hit the A button on it and it should bring you to the endgame screen you've seen 1,000 times before. The first thing that you'll definitely notice that's a major change here is that we actually have access to what's called a details button, and this allows us to see the damage dealt, the damage taken, as well as the amount of damage we recovered in a match. If you're going to be stuck solo queuing a lot of ranked matches, this information here is vital to learning yourself and your weaknesses that you need to compensate for. The fourth thing worth knowing about Pokemon Unite is using practice mode to settle up your battle preps. If there's one thing I've learned about this game, it can be very difficult to do your battle preps in the middle of an actual match, especially with the timer and the lag playing big parts in making it so difficult. Luckily, there is a very easy solution to implement here. You can simply just access your battle preps in practice mode instead. This way you can get your ideal build set up, good to go, with no stress, no load times, no lag. That easy. The fifth thing worth knowing about Pokemon Unite is how to turn off the outlines around your Pokemon. So while you're in practice mode doing your battle preps, make sure to actually start up a game, Then what you're going to do is hit the Start button and go to Settings. Then under System Settings, you'll be able to easily find outlines. As you can see, I already had them turned off, and this is what it actually looks like with them turned on. This is more of a visual preference, however, I find it to be a lot cleaner looking, and honestly, it makes a game look less like a 3DS game and more like an actual Switch game. The other setting worth talking about here is the Show Cooldown Decimal Values. Essentially what it's going to do is it'll show you each 1/10 of a second counting down if you turn it on. Just a little bit of extra information if you are privy to that. The 6th thing worth knowing about Pokemon Unite is picking your character last on the select screen. This tip is invaluable if you're trying to get wins as a solo queuer in ranked mode, and also requires you to be able to play all 5 classes. The main strategy here will be to simply have some patience while also hitting the Y button to make sure that you are going to fill out your team properly. In this first example, you can see that we originally had 2 attackers and a speedster picked, and I was going to fill in the defender role. However, since my teammate decided to actually go defender, that allows me to go for attack and add a little more oomph to our team, as opposed to having 2 defenders not really doling out enough damage. Now in this second example, our team ends up with 1 defender, 1 attacker, and 2 all-arounders. So we've got the defensive capacity here. However, the attacker that has been picked is Gardevoir, and as great as she is, we're going to have to add a little more oomph to this team. And this is before the patch, so Cinderace is probably going to be our best fill right now. That way we end up with a more balanced team. So yeah, understanding team chemistry and how you can fill out roles is going to essentially be your ticket to ranking up. The 7th thing worth knowing about Pokemon Unite is prepping your basic attacks outside of battle. Earlier in the video we were talking about boosted attack gauges, which give visual indicators on screen as to when your boosted attack is prepped and ready. Boosted attacks are great because they usually have extra properties attached to them, such as being able to burn, slow, or even just add extra damage to the initial attack. So doing a couple basic attacks to prep your boosted attack outside of battle gives you the opportunity to actually start your battle with those properties. This can lead to early advantages in team fights because your 1st and 4th hit will be your boosted attacks instead of your 3rd and 6th hit. The 8th thing worth knowing about Pokemon Unite is that you can hold down the attack button instead of mashing it. This is a really good, effective means of attacking wild Pokemon. However, if you go in to practice mode, you go up to a substitute doll, and you start mashing the button, you get a slightly higher DPS than holding, but again, you will be more consistent just holding than mashing. The 9th thing worth knowing about Pokemon Unite is the easy way to add friends. I'm actually a little embarrassed at how long it took me to figure this out, but believe it or not, in the post-game screen, you can just hit the right button and you can highlight any of your friends or any of your foes, and you can literally send them a friend request. You can also tell your teammates good job, which, you know, hey, they did it, they deserve it. If you skip through the screen too fast, or you just felt like adding a friend later on, you can also always go back to your battle record, highlight their name, and add them as a friend that way as well. And finally, the 10th thing worth knowing about Pokemon Unite is how goal-enhanced items work. There are certain held items in this game like Score Shield, Attack Weight, and Special Attack Specs that power up every time you score a goal. You need to score 6 goals in order for your goal-enhanced items to be fully powered up. And since you've watched this far, I'm going to show you how to be able to get those 6 goals in under 3 minutes. The key to this trick is to make sure to leave some wild Pokemon near the scoring area alive. Now, as soon as you score a goal, the first thing you want to do is quickly kill a wild Pokemon and then literally just score again. It's honestly that simple. And then you want to go down here, farm this other wild Pokemon, score really quick, and look at that. You pretty much just scored 3 goals in 15 seconds. Alright, so hopefully this video was able to show you a couple things that maybe you didn't know about the game that might actually make you a better player. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and as always, thanks for watching. Yes! I think we won! Yes! Yo! Let's get hype! Yo, we need a blob dance. We need a blob dance here. Blob dance. Wait, why isn't it? I didn't type Bob Vance. I typed Blob Dance. Did it happen? Oh, I don't think it... How was it? I want to see what the review of the battle was. Yo, fellas! Fellas, we took that on the... Mind blown right now.